Sometimes you simply need to remind yourself who you are, what you're capable of, what you've already achieved, what you know you can achieve, and what's right on the horizon. Because a lot of times we allow the opinions of other people, the opinions of social media, television, all these things to tell us about everything we're not. And we forget what we are. We forget the things we're proud of. We forget our hopes and dreams. We forget our abilities. We forget how far we've come. We forget that we have come too far just to have come this far. We forget what we are capable of. We forget what we have proven we are capable of. Because it's not just about, oh, I think I could do that. No, look at what you've already done. Remind yourself who you are. And when we start losing sight of our own worth, it makes it so much harder to achieve our goals. Because if I didn't believe I was capable, I would have never got this office. I wouldn't be making these videos. I wouldn't have started my channel. I wouldn't have wrote books. I wouldn't be doing events because if I believed I couldn't, I wouldn't have because I wouldn't have seen it as possible. Yeah, you see other people like Kobe Bryant and Les Brown and then Tony Robbins and all these people and the speakers and the musicians and the artists, and you think, man, I wish I could do that. But you can. You just gotta start. And you have to remind yourself that you are capable. You have to simply remind yourself that if they could do it, I could do it too. Maybe not overnight, maybe not in a week, but I can at least start. I can at least put a song on SoundCloud. I can at least upload a YouTube video. Yeah, I don't have the editing software and I don't know how to make thumbnails and I don't know how to do this and how to do that. But I know how to push a button and push the button again and hit upload. I know how to do that. So let me just start and figure it out. And when you lose sight of your worth, it's such a dark place because I've been there. Man, I didn't have times I cried myself to sleep. I didn't had all them moments. And that's a big reason why I make these videos. I want to remind people you're capable. I want to remind you to remind yourself that you matter. And what I really want to get into today is how journaling has really helped me a lot. I say this all the time when I go on podcast interviews, and then if you go listen to my speeches and my YouTube videos, I say this all the time. Journaling, exercise, go outside. These three things help you in so many ways. But what I really want to nail in on is building that self worth aspect. Because sometimes you simply need to sit down for like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long you decide, and write out what am I proud of? Not just my material achievements, you can put that on there too, but we want to go beyond that as well. Not just how I look. You can put that on there, like, if you've been going to the gym, you built some muscle, you lost some weight, put that on there. But you want to think about my character qualities. I am dependable. I am reliable. I support those around me. I am helpful. I am intelligent. I am a hard worker. I show up on time. These kind of like character qualities, like these things about you as a person, not about how you look, not about what you have per se, but the qualities it took to have those things. Like, for example, you might have a really nice car. Like, let's say you're driving a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, a Corvette, whatever. Like, hypothetically, you have a really nice car, or you have a really high paying job, or you have a really big house, or you have this, like, happy relationship, or you have a 4.0 GPA. These are great achievements. These are great things. But you want to think about, like, I am dedicated to studying, and because of that, I got a 4.0 GPA. I am hardworking and I show up on time to my job, therefore, I have a high paying job or I have a successful business. I am dedicated, I am loving, I have a great family. Whatever the character qualities are that led to having that thing. And in order to achieve goals, like in the examples of getting into college, becoming a millionaire, starting a business, you gotta believe in yourself. And journaling about what you love about yourself helps you to believe that you matter. Because if you don't believe you matter, you're not going to try because you're going to think, what's even the point? Like, you might get to the point where you start thinking, like, what's the point in, keep living? And if you ever get to that point, reach out to somebody, call a crisis center, talk to a trusted adult, call some friends. Help is available. But returning back to the original point, you want to just remind yourself that you matter in this world because unfortunately, there is a lot of people, places, and things that will try to tear you down and say, oh no, you're doing too much. You're shining too bright. It's like the rocks are telling the sun to dim your light. And why would the sun listen to the rocks? And the point I'm getting at is sometimes you have to just stop listening to the opinions of people who are trying to tear you down and try to hold you back. Because there's a difference between constructive criticism and somebody just hating on you. Somebody just hating on you is saying, oh, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, nobody loves you. People just trying to insult and tear you down. Constructive criticism is something along the lines of, hey, I think if you put on some deodorant, more people would want to be around you because you are kind of, smelling. It may sound a little hurtful, but they're trying to help you actually. Or something along the lines of, let's say you want to get a relationship, like you want to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and everyone's saying, no, I don't like you, this, that. And somebody else tells you that, hey, I appreciate you trying, but maybe if you wore clean clothing, people would want to be more inclined to talk to you. Not to say you need to wear like super fancy clothing with huge designer labels, but take the shirt off that has pizza stains on it and wash it. They're actually just trying to help you. And as you value yourself more and you believe that you matter, you'll start to find ways to reflect that to yourself, such as taking care of your appearance, brushing your teeth, cleaning your room, taking care of your health, eating healthier foods, drinking more water. These are all things that help you build that sense of self worth because you remind yourself through these actions that you are worthy of love, that you are worthy of being appreciated, that you are worth something in this world, that you're worth something in a world that often tries to make you feel like you're not anything. I use this quote often. It is, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. And when you believe in yourself and you believe that you matter, you'll start to see, pun intended, this giant reservoir of worth within yourself. And from there, you'll start to realize that I could really do that. Like, okay, I might not make it to the NBA tomorrow, but I bet you if I dedicate myself to this, I just keep going and practicing and, taking action, I'll at least get very close. And then you also think to yourself, like, okay, I can make a business. I could start trying to apply for colleges. I could do this. I could do that. And you won't even try if you don't think you're capable of it. Because you have to believe in yourself enough to try. You have to believe in yourself enough to make an effort. You have to believe in yourself enough to take steps forward. And as you're taking steps forward, eventually something's going to work. But you'll never get to that point where things do work, where you have the end result, where you're able to retire your parents, where you're able to drive a Lamborghini if that's what you want, where you're able to have $1 million business or get into really good shape or get that girl or guy you want. In order to get there, you have to believe in yourself because if you don't believe you can, you won't even try. And as you start to realize more worth of yourself, like more self worth, you'll start to fall in love with the character and the person you need to become rather than just trying to get the thing. Because if you fall in love with what you have, but you don't fall in love with who you are, you're kind of becoming a slave to your possessions rather than being the master of your possessions. And then to say this, if you were to get a really nice car and you have all these things, you're like, man, I'm proud of my car. I'm proud of my house. I'm proud of my bank account. I'm proud of the place I live. I'm proud of my job. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of that. And these are good things. But are you proud of yourself? Do you believe that you matter? Do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you love yourself? And these are all things that on October 15th, I'm going to cover in a event I'm doing. So just this is going to be on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, DM me on Instagram the word sign up. My Instagram is Lawrence C Empowers. Same on my YouTube channel and TikTok. And we're going to be covering that. We're going to be covering why it's so important to believe in yourself. And the fact that if you don't believe in yourself, you won't be able to retire your parents. You won't be able to get that nice car. You won't be able to live the life of your dreams. Because in order to take your dreams into reality, you have to believe it is possible. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful, lovely, and fantastic day. Make sure you DM me the word sign up to get the link for my event. Also, if you haven't been a school principal, podcast host, or run a youth focused organization, you can email me at lawrence@lawrenceharris.com and we can move forward from there, whether that be a podcast, speaking engagement, or just helping your organization out. So I hope you have a wonderful, lovely, and fantastic day.